I've been waiting for months now and it's finally here, the Gen 2 Ryobi brushless impact driver. In this video, I'll test it out and compare it to Gen 1 Ryobi, showing you driving performance, weight, size, control, trying to bust free lug nuts, and rank them at the end. Since I saw the specs for this new model, I have questioned if this tool is any better or if it's basically the same tool as the Gen 1 with a new exterior. Time to open it up, put it through the paces. Tools typically post one set of specs but don't specify the battery that it comes with. Since all of Ryobi's advertisements for this new tool are with the expensive Edge battery that uses tabless cells for extra power, it's reasonable they up the specs based on that battery and minimal tool improvements. It's also here on the box recommending that Edge battery. This tool goes for $129 and a comparable 4-speed Gen 1 is only $70 right now. So the new one better pack a punch, or you all should stock up on the Gen 1s before they sell out. My initial reaction is that this tool is slightly smaller and there are clear changes in new parts. Things have been modified, which is a good sign. The specs state an increased torque of only 100 inch-pounds from 2200 to 2300 inch-pounds, but a 500 RPMs, aka RPM, increase from 2900 to 3400. It sounds very similar, but I can feel a little extra wind on the hand from the cooling fan. Weight-wise, it's less than ½ an ounce lighter, so basically the same, and length is ½ an inch shorter, and even shorter than the Compact. Ironic. Anyway, let's drive some lag bolts and screws. Well, first there is some excess grease near the collet, and the front case screws are loose. Ryobi lacking in quality control off the line. Starting by baselining the Gen 1s, the full size does it in 3.8 seconds, but the Compact does it in 9.9 seconds. If you care about the Compact impact, please check out my prior videos, but fair warning, I'm pretty critical of that impact driver. What can the new Gen 2 do? .3 seconds, so slightly slower than the Gen 1 with the 2 amp hour high performance battery, both fully charged. Not a good start. Let's up the battery capacity to 6 amp hours, again the high performance version. And with the 6 amp hour battery, the Gen 2 is slightly faster, 2.9 seconds versus 3.1 seconds for the Gen 1. But not showing real significant gains with the new tool. I also checked some cabinet screws. Both drive them very quick, around 0.7 to 0.8 seconds for both tools, ever so slightly faster for the Gen 2. If you have watched some of my other tests, times on the performance test may change slightly. I run the tests for each video together on the same day using the same piece of wood. In my frozen battery test, I showed how temperature can impact battery and tool performance. So I'm trying to make it as apples to apples as I can for a basic test. Similarly, I used both tools to remove 85 foot-pound lug nuts. They did it with ease. Breakaway torque isn't easy to test accurately, so I'll let other YouTube channels handle that if you really care. Unfortunately, the Gen 2 just doesn't come with much more power. The tool appears to be optimized for higher batteries, and both tools would see a bump from the expensive Edge battery. The Gen 2 toolkit with an Edge battery would be $230. Given the quality control and trigger performance, I would go to other brands if you want to spend that kind of money. An example being the new M12 subcompact kit for $159 with a 5-year tool warranty. For control, I typically test the low speed performance. This tool's low speed is bad. It spins fast but has 3 modes to compensate for a crappy trigger. Testing out how well I can drive screws flush, this tool with modes 1 and 2 performs well. On speed 3, it's just too touchy and easy to bury screw heads. Without the modes, this is what you get from the standard impact. Are impact driver additional speeds just a band-aid for a poor trigger? Possibly. The trigger is the same as the Gen 1, and it's garbage. It almost feels like an on-off trigger. I did some measurements to try and help explain how bad these are. The trigger full pull is almost 8.5 millimeters. The first engagement happens after 4.2 millimeters, so half of the trigger is dead. The progressive engagement is very bad. If Ryobi had a good trigger, I don't think the additional modes would be necessary. Are you interested in upgrading? I would typically rank these, but I don't think it's necessary. with the Gen 1 4 mode on sale for $69, the Gen 2 full size released at $129, and the Gen 2 compact a whopping $99. The clear answer is to grab a Gen 1 4 mode, in my opinion. Who knows how long these will last? Even if the 4 mode ones sell out, the standard Gen 1 is still around the same price. If there's a second place, it's the new Brushless Hyper Tough. It doesn't have modes and the trigger isn't great, but at $44 a kit, you can buy 2 kits, a fast charger, and still have some money for your choice of adult beverage. Its performance is pretty close to the full-size Ryobi's, and at 3 pounds flat, it's 4 ounces lighter. You get a 3-year warranty, and while quality may not be perfect, neither is Ryobi recently from my experiences. This collet, aside from the excess initial grease, does have more end play than the Gen 1. It may be slowly leaking grease near the collet. Time will tell, but a leak even minor could transfer to wood projects after switching bits. I'll be keeping an eye on that. HyperTough's new tools seem to be a no-frills tool that are good enough for as cheap as possible. Ryobi's new tools seem to be good enough with some perceived quality to warrant Home Depot shelves. It certainly seems like TTI is just doing enough to call something Gen 2, really counting on the Edge battery for improved specs. I don't hate the tool, but for the money, I wanted more. I hope me screwing around in my garage was helpful. Regardless of your choice, I want you to get what you want when you spend your money and have it meet your expectations. Get to working on those projects. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos.